What's going on YouTube? JTeacherborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Joker at number 5. This one's written by James Tynion IV, Matthew Rosenberg, and like Sam Johns. Art by Sweeney Boo and Francesco Francavilla. I think that's how you say his name. I'm kind of drawing a blank at the moment. But yes, so we have the main Joker storyline, which is kind of feels more like an annual that got moved up, and then we have the Punchline backup. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these things. So the first main storyline, it's a entirely like a flashback issue. It feels kind of out of place in terms of the numbering. You really realistically could read the main Joker thing like as just kind of a random standalone issue. It doesn't necessarily like feel like issue number 5 of this Joker, but you really realistically could place it kind of anywhere. And it is a good issue. But I feel like it feels more like an annual that got kind of moved up. Like it feels like an annual issue, not necessarily like a numbered issue. Because you know how annuals are typically kind of like they tie into the things, but they're kind of a bit off to the side a little bit. Like they sometimes that's kind of what this one feels like. I mean, there's characters that kind of tie into like some of the stuff with the present day, like the cannibal family that's after the Joker. You also see like kind of where like the initial like Joker's first night at Arkham and Jim Gordon's kind of obsession with the Joker like really kind of began here. This is definitely near the Earth, like year one days. We also see how Jim Gordon's obsession has just kind of like destroyed his own personal life, like with his current wife at the time, and his children who put up a sign for his like happy anniversary and all that. Like his obsession with the Joker also cost him lives, and he kind of like weighs heavily on him because he promised to do all these different things, but because he was so like adamant to staying and watching over the Joker because he believed like Arkham doesn't quite have the security to keep an eye on this guy, and he also feels like there's something off and different about this guy that I got to kind of keep an eye on him. And Joker did kind of escape his cell at one point, so Gordon just kind of sat there. He's like, "Look, you got to have more security for this thing. I don't feel safe trusting him like this when this is a very dangerous man. You got to keep an eye on him." But like, obviously, like Arkham was a little bit different back in the day, and obviously, like Gordon believes he tricked to like plead insanity when he's fully aware of his actions and stuff. So yeah, so we have that. Again, this is all just kind of told like via like a flashback issue, and as you can see, the art style is quite different from everything else. Like I said, it feels kind of like a little bit out of place. Like I mean, it ties into the events of the present day stuff with, like I said, like the different characters and like kind of the like Jim Gordon's relationship with the Joker and how that's kind of evolved over time. But this definitely feels like an annual. Like if this should have just been an annual, and they should have just kind of went for whatever issue 6 is and kind of moved that to issue 5. But nevertheless, this is still a solid Jim Gordon like story about like his early days with the Joker. And again, you can see him kind of like there. I think the artwork fits well for this type of like flashback storyline. We see his relationship with Joker there. We see how this kind of costs lives, and people kind of like scold him for it, like Harvey Dent's like, "You should have been there, Jim. You were supposed to be here. You should have had my back, but here you are off watching the Joker. Like he's fine. He's locked up and all that." And Gordon, like his just obsession with Joker has just kind of cost him a lot of things. It's affected his family life, and you really just kind of see the toll that it's kind of taking on him. And like I said, this is quite a solid Jim Gordon solo issue. I just think its placement, like right after the ending of the other one, would have been more suitable for an annual. But nevertheless, like as an issue itself, like my that's just more of a like the placement rather than just the issue itself. Judging the issue just based on itself, you really could read this thing on its own, not necessarily having read the other Joker stuff. But I thought it was quite good. In terms of the backup, the best thing about the backup storyline is the artwork. The rest of the story, like it's cool to see Harper Row and like stuff with her dad, and you also have Punchline kind of just like you have Punchline followers, and you have Punchline just kind of taking over like the prison stuff, and you also have her trying to look for someone known as Kelly Ness, who I'm not quite familiar with. The backup is okay, but what really sets it apart is the artwork by Sweeney Boo. Like, is that their actual name or is that just a pen name? I don't know, but like, yeah. So like the artwork is gorgeous. I mean, just look at this thing. Look at the style. Look at the colors. Look at the way it pops. Look at the character designs. I really really like the artwork for this backup. I even like the artwork for like the first thing too. They're very two distinct styles that tonally fit the stories. But the Punchline backup, it just felt kind of okay. Like I feel like I got to go back and reread like the whole Punchline setup with her story and kind of how like maybe I'll just go start from the beginning, kind of reread just that section of it and just kind of get a grasp of what's happening again. Like maybe that'll like kind of reinvest me into the backup some more. But as it stands, the backup is just like this week's backup or this month's backup was just kind of okay. Nothing really amazing or anything like that. Not exactly sure what Punchline's going to do in prison unless the Joker's going to bust her out or something like that. But yeah, we'll see where it kind of goes from there. I'm kind of glad that Harper Rowe's getting like showcased somewhere, so at least that's kind of cool. Um, but overall, I thought the backup was just okay, with really just the artwork kind of standing out for me. But the Jim Gordon storyline is quite good, and I definitely think you should give it a read and check it out. So, yeah, this is a very short review compared to some of the other stuff, but I don't really have too much else to say. Like, this thing doesn't quite move the plot forward. We're actually kind of going backwards. But you realistically could just read the main storyline as just kind of a standalone thing that just goes to showcase, like, Gordon's first time with the Joker in Arkham, and how the Joker has really kind of affected all sorts of aspects of his life, and you can kind of see like it kind of does a little bit of a deep dive into who kind of Gordon is, and like how he is towards his family and stuff, and like is he the cause of a lot of his issues, his own issues, or is the like these criminals really doing it? I don't know. There's some interesting stuff with Gordon going on here that I think is definitely worth checking out. Like with some solid artwork, I think this is a pretty a solid issue with Joker, and I've been enjoying Joker. Like it's been pretty good so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Hopefully, the next issue picks up where issue 4 left off. But we'll just wait and see. Maybe we'll do another flashback issue or something. I don't really know it anymore. But like I said, I felt like issue 5 just kind of being this maybe cuts the momentum a bit of the story and should have been an annual. But that said, it is a solid issue all around. And I think it's worth checking out. But yeah, that's all I got to say about this one. What did you think of the Joker number 5? Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. And yeah. Got more stuff coming up. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.